Imagine a world where you could share your thoughts without speaking. Imagine sending a message with your mind. This is the core idea of digital telepathy. It is not magic. It is not a superpower from a comic book. Instead, it is a fascinating field of science and technology. Scientists are learning to read the signals from our brains. They are using computers to understand these signals. This technology could change how we communicate. It could change how we interact with the world around us. We stand at the threshold of a new kind of connection, one that bridges the silent space between minds. Digital telepathy means using technology to interpret brain activity. This interpretation allows for direct communication. It could be communication from a brain to a computer, or perhaps one day from one brain directly to another. Think about your brain. It's an incredible organ full of electrical and chemical activity. Every thought, every feeling, every intention creates tiny signals. For centuries, these signals remained locked inside our skulls. Now we are building the keys to unlock them. We are learning the brain's secret language. This journey is just beginning, but its potential is truly vast. How did this become possible? It is the result of decades of research. Scientists studied the brain's electrical nature. Engineers built sensitive tools to measure brain activity. Computer scientists developed powerful algorithms. These algorithms can find patterns in complex data. Together, these advances have opened a window into our minds. It's like astronomers building better telescopes. With each new instrument, we see more of the universe. With each new brain interface, we understand more about ourselves. This convergence of biology and technology is truly remarkable. The prospect of digital telepathy raises profound questions. What will it mean for human connection if we can share thoughts directly? How could it help people who cannot speak or move? But also, what are the risks? Could our innermost thoughts be read without our permission? Could our minds be influenced in ways we don't understand? These are not just scientific questions. They are ethical questions. They are human questions. As we explore this new frontier, we must proceed with both curiosity and caution. The universe of the mind is as complex and wondrous as the cosmos itself. The dream of communicating thoughts directly is ancient. Mystics and storytellers have long imagined such abilities, but the scientific journey began much more recently. It started with understanding the brain's physical nature. In the late 19th century, scientists discovered that nerve cells use electricity. This was a revolutionary idea. Our thoughts, our very consciousness, seemed tied to electrical pulses. This was the first clue. It suggested that perhaps one day we could listen in on this electrical symphony. It was a spark that ignited a century of exploration. A major breakthrough came in 1924. German psychiatrist Hans Berger recorded the first human electroencephalogram, or EEG. He placed electrodes on a person's scalp. He measured the tiny electrical rhythms of the brain. He called them brain waves. This showed that brain activity could be detected from outside the skull. It was like discovering radio waves emanating from a distant star. Suddenly, the brain wasn't a complete black box anymore. Berger's work laid the foundation for non-invasive brain monitoring. It was the birth of a new way to study the mind. The term brain-computer interface, or BCI, emerged much later. In the 1970s, researchers began to explore if brain signals could control external devices. Early experiments were often with animals. Scientists learned that monkeys could control a robotic arm with their brain activity. These were pioneering steps. They showed that the brain is remarkably adaptable. It can learn to control new kinds of outputs. The primary motivation was often medical. Could BCIs help people with severe paralysis? Could they restore movement or communication? This noble goal fueled much of the early innovation. Over the following decades, progress was steady but challenging. Brain signals are incredibly complex. They are also very faint when measured from the scalp. Developing better sensors was crucial. Creating sophisticated software to decode the signals was equally important. Universities and research labs around the world contributed, each discovery built upon the last, from simple on-off switches controlled by brainwaves to spelling devices to controlling wheelchairs. The journey from a mere spark of an idea to today's advanced prototypes has been long. It's a testament to human ingenuity and our relentless quest to understand ourselves and overcome limitations. When we talk about listening to the brain without surgery, we mean non-invasive methods. These are our current windows to the mind. They do not require opening the skull. This makes them safer and more accessible for widespread use. The most well-known is the electroencephalogram, or EEG. You might have seen someone wearing a cap with many wires. These wires connect to small sensors, electrodes placed on the scalp. These electrodes pick up the tiny electrical fields generated by millions of neurons firing together. It's like listening to the roar of a crowd from outside a stadium. You get a general sense of the activity. Another fascinating non-invasive technique is functional near-infrared spectroscopy, or FNIRS. This method uses light to monitor brain activity. It sounds like something from science fiction, but it's real. FNIRS devices shine near-infrared light through the skull. This light can penetrate bone and tissue. Some of it is absorbed by blood in the brain, and some is reflected. Active brain regions need more oxygen. Oxygen-rich blood absorbs light differently than oxygen-poor blood. By measuring these changes, FNIRS can map active areas. It's a bit like seeing which parts of a city are using the most electricity. Then there is magnetoencephalography, or MEG. This technique measures the magnetic fields produced by electrical currents in the brain. Every electrical current creates a magnetic field. The brain's currents are tiny, so their magnetic fields are incredibly weak. MEG requires extremely sensitive detectors called squids. These detectors must be shielded from the Earth's magnetic field and other interference. MEG offers better spatial resolution than EEG. It can pinpoint the source of activity more accurately. However, MEG machines are large, expensive, and not very portable. Each of these tools gives us a different glimpse. These non-invasive methods are crucial for research. They help us understand brain function in healthy people. They are used to diagnose conditions like epilepsy, and they are the backbone of many current BCI applications. Think of controlling a video game with your mind, or typing messages by focusing on letters on a screen. These are often achieved using EEG. While non-invasive tools don't offer the finest detail, they represent a powerful, safe way to explore and interact with our brains. They are the entry point for many into the world of digital telepathy. They are our first gentle probes into the universe within. Sometimes listening from the outside is not enough. To get a clearer, more detailed signal from the brain, scientists turn to invasive methods. This means surgery is involved. Electrodes are placed directly on or even inside the brain. This might sound extreme, but it offers significant advantages for certain applications. The skull and scalp blur and weaken brain signals. Placing sensors closer to the neurons overcomes this barrier. It's like moving from listening to an orchestra from outside the concert hall to sitting amongst the musicians. The clarity is dramatically improved. One type of invasive BCI is electrocorticography, or ECOG. In ECOG, electrodes are placed on the surface of the brain beneath the skull. This is often done for patients who are already undergoing brain surgery for other reasons, like epilepsy treatment. ECOG provides much better signal quality than scalp EEG. The signals are stronger and less distorted. This allows for more precise control of external devices. Researchers have used ECOG to enable paralyzed individuals to control robotic arms with remarkable dexterity. They can reach, grasp, and perform complex movements. This offers hope for restoring independence. For even finer detail, scientists use microelectrode arrays. These are tiny devices, sometimes smaller than a postage stamp. They contain many microscopic needles or electrodes. These arrays are implanted directly into the brain tissue. Each tiny electrode can record the activity of a small group of neurons, or even individual neurons. This provides an incredibly rich and detailed stream of information. It's like listening to individual conversations within that vast crowd of brain cells. This high-fidelity signal is crucial for understanding how specific neural circuits work. It also enables highly sophisticated BCI control. Of course, invasive procedures carry risks. Surgery always has potential complications like infection or bleeding. The implanted devices can also cause inflammation or damage to brain tissue over time. Therefore, invasive BCIs are currently reserved for individuals with severe medical needs. The potential benefits must outweigh the risks. But the research is vital. It pushes the boundaries of what's possible. It helps us understand the brain at its most fundamental level, and it drives the development of safer, more effective implantable technologies for the future. These brave explorations inside the brain are paving the way for profound breakthroughs. Obtaining brain signals is just the first step. These signals, whether from EEG or implanted electrodes, are incredibly complex. They're really a mixture of activity from billions of neurons. It's kind of like trying to understand a conversation in a crowded, noisy room with thousands of people talking at once. The raw data itself doesn't immediately tell us what a person is thinking or intending. So we need a way to decode this electrical cacophony. This is where the power of computer science, especially machine learning, comes into play. These algorithms, well, they're our translators. Machine learning algorithms are designed to find patterns in data. For BCIs, these algorithms learn to associate specific patterns of brain activity with particular thoughts or intentions. This process actually requires training. For example, a user might be asked to imagine moving their left hand. Then they imagine moving their right hand. The BCI system records the brain activity during each imagined movement. The algorithm analyzes these recordings. It learns to distinguish the brain signal pattern for imagine left from the pattern for imagine right. This is a painstaking but essential process. The more the system is trained, the better it becomes at decoding. It's kind of like learning a new language. At first, you only understand a few words. With practice, you understand more complex sentences. Early BCIs could only decode simple commands like yes or no, or moving a cursor up or down. But as algorithms become more sophisticated and our understanding of brain signals improves, we can decode more complex information. Researchers are working on systems that can decode imagined speech. Some can even reconstruct images a person is seeing or imagining, albeit crudely for now. The ultimate goal is to create a seamless and intuitive connection. We want the BCI to understand our intentions effortlessly. This requires not just good algorithms, but also good experimental design. Scientists must figure out what brain signals are most reliable for decoding specific types of information. It's a continuous cycle of discovery, engineering, and refinement. Translating the whispers of our neurons into clear, actionable commands is one of the greatest challenges in modern science, but each successful translation brings us closer to unlocking the profound potential held within our own minds. Honestly, it's a decoding effort worthy of the cosmos itself. Beyond controlling computers with our minds, what about communicating directly from one brain to another? This is the realm of brain-to-brain interfaces, or BBIs. It sounds like pure science fiction, but early forms are already being demonstrated in laboratories. The concept is to take the decoded brain activity from one person, the sender, and then transmit this information to another person, the receiver. This transmission doesn't happen through spoken words or gestures. Instead, it happens through technology, directly stimulating the receiver's brain. How does this work in practice? Typically, the sender uses a BCI, maybe an EEG, to generate a specific brain signal. For instance, they might think about moving their hand to represent a yes or no. A computer decodes this signal. This decoded information is then sent to a device that can stimulate the receiver's brain. A common method for this stimulation is transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS. TMS uses magnetic pulses to induce small electrical currents in specific parts of the receiver's brain. These currents can create a perception like seeing a flash of light. Current BBI experiments are still quite basic. They transmit very simple information. For example, a sender might play a game and decide to fire a cannon. Their brain signal for fire could be decoded. This signal is then sent to a receiver who might perceive a flash of light. This flash could prompt the receiver to press a button, effectively carrying out the sender's intention. In one experiment, researchers linked brains across thousands of miles. One person in India sent a simple greeting to people in France. The messages were basic, like hola or ciao, encoded in binary. The complexity of thoughts and emotions is immense. Transmitting nuanced ideas directly from brain to brain is still a distant dream. Our current tools are like trying to convey a symphony using only a single drumbeat. However, these pioneering experiments are crucial proofs of concept. They show that direct brain-to-brain communication is, in principle, possible. As our methods improve, the possibilities will expand. This research opens a new chapter in human interaction, one that is both exciting and humbling. Our brains generate an incredible amount of data every second. Every firing neuron contributes to this vast internal datascape. As brain-computer interface technology advances, we're gaining the ability to capture more and more of this brain data. And this isn't just any data, it's deeply personal. It reflects our thoughts, our reactions, our cognitive states. When this highly sensitive brain data is combined with the power of big data analytics and artificial intelligence, we enter a new territory. We begin to create what some might call an algorithmic mind reader. AI algorithms really excel at finding patterns and making predictions from large data sets. Think about how online services predict movies you'll like or products you might buy. They analyze your past behavior, your clicks, your purchases. Now imagine applying similar algorithms to your brain data. By analyzing your neural responses to various stimuli, images, sounds, ideas, AI could learn your preferences with astonishing accuracy. It might predict your emotional state before you're even fully aware of it. It could identify your biases, your fears, your attractions, all from the subtle patterns in your brain waves. This predictive power has enormous potential benefits. In medicine, it could lead to early diagnosis of neurological or psychiatric conditions. It could help personalize treatments. In education, systems might adapt to a student's cognitive state, optimizing learning. For individuals with communication difficulties, it could offer new ways to express complex needs and desires. Imagine a smart home that adjusts the lighting and music based on your detected mood, all inferred from your brain activity. The possibilities for enhancing our lives seem honestly boundless. However, this fusion of brain data and big data also raises significant concerns. Who controls these powerful predictive algorithms? Who owns the insights derived from your brain activity? If a company can predict your preferences better than you can articulate them, how might that be used in advertising? If an employer could assess your cognitive aptitude or emotional stability based on brain data, what would that mean for job prospects? The line between helpful assistance and intrusive surveillance becomes incredibly thin. We are collecting the raw material of thought, and algorithms are learning to interpret it. The implications are profound. The ability to access and decode brain activity opens a Pandora's box of ethical challenges. Chief among these is the threat to our mental privacy. Our thoughts have always been our most private sanctuary. They are the inner sanctum where we can be truly ourselves, free from external judgment. But if technology can read these thoughts, even imperfectly, that sanctuary is breached. Who has the right to access this information? Governments, corporations, hackers? The potential for surveillance on an unprecedented scale is, frankly, deeply unsettling. Every flicker of interest, every fleeting doubt could become a data point. Beyond simple surveillance, there is the risk of manipulation. If technology can read brain signals related to preferences or decisions, it might also be used to influence them. Imagine advertisements that are not just targeted, but actively designed to trigger specific neural responses, nudging you towards a purchase without your conscious awareness. Consider political campaigns that could test messages by monitoring voters' brain activity, refining their propaganda for maximum subconscious impact. The ability to subtly shape thoughts, desires, or beliefs by directly interacting with brain processes is a powerful and potentially dangerous tool. This leads to concerns about cognitive liberty. Cognitive liberty is the freedom to control one's own mental processes, thoughts, and consciousness. It is the right to mental self-determination. If external entities can read our minds without consent, or worse, alter our mental states, then this fundamental freedom is under threat. Could our emotional responses be dampened or amplified? Could unwanted thoughts be implanted or memories altered? While these scenarios might seem far-fetched today, the trajectory of the technology suggests we must consider them seriously. The very essence of who we are, our autonomy, our free will, could be at stake. The responsibility that comes with developing these technologies is immense. We are not just building tools, we are creating interfaces to the human soul. Without robust safeguards, the potential for misuse is terrifying. We could see new forms of discrimination based on brain data. We could see a world where divergent thoughts are flagged or where conformity is subtly enforced at a neural level. The dark side is not an inevitable outcome, but it is a possible one. We must be vigilant and proactive in addressing these risks. The future of human freedom depends on it. Our minds represent the final frontier of privacy. For all of human history, what we thought and felt internally was ours alone unless we chose to share it. Digital telepathy and advanced neurotechnology are now challenging this fundamental assumption. The data gleaned from our brains, neurodata, is uniquely sensitive. It's more personal than our genetic code. It is the raw material of our identity, our consciousness, our inner world. Existing laws and regulations, like GDPR for general data or HIPAA for health information, are not specifically designed to handle the complexities and sensitivities of neurodata. They are, honestly, insufficient. Recognizing this gap, scientists, ethicists, and legal scholars are calling for the development of new protections, neuro rights. These are proposed human rights aimed at protecting individuals in the age of advanced neurotechnology. One crucial neuro right is the right to mental privacy. This means individuals should have control over who can access their brain data and for what purpose. Another is the right to personal identity, ensuring that neurotechnology cannot be used to alter a person's sense of self without their consent. The right to free will aims to protect individuals from covert manipulation of their decision-making processes through brain interventions. Establishing these neuro rights will require international cooperation and careful deliberation. We need to define clearly what constitutes legitimate use of neurotechnology and what crosses ethical boundaries. For example, therapeutic uses to treat paralysis or depression are widely seen as beneficial, but using the same technology for commercial exploitation or state surveillance raises serious red flags. We need clear rules about data ownership, consent, and security for neurodata. These rules must be adaptable as the technology will continue to evolve rapidly. It's a race against time to put ethical frameworks in place. The development of digital telepathy is a testament to human curiosity and our drive to understand the universe, including the universe within our skulls. It holds incredible promise for medicine, communication, and human augmentation. But like any powerful technology, from nuclear energy to artificial intelligence, it carries risks. We must approach this new frontier with a profound sense of responsibility. Guarding our mental integrity, our cognitive liberty, and our fundamental human dignity is paramount. The future of what it means to be human may depend on the choices we make today to protect our most intimate selves. The cosmos within deserves no less.